Welcome back to Touring the AFC South. I'm your host, Mike Patton, and draft time is right around the corner. Of course, scouts are looking and scouring and trying to figure out who they're going to get. Also, players are trying to get themselves ready and prepared while they can run the best 40 of their lives or bench press or do whatever they're going to do to impress the scouts. And I figured, hey, since draft time's coming around, I might as well get somebody that actually has been through the process. And I want to welcome on the show Mr. Tavon Mason. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. What's going on, Mike? I appreciate you having me on, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So just to give everybody a little background, where did you play college football and where did you play in the NFL?
I went to the University of Virginia in Charlottesville. It was Virginia Cavalier Wahoo. Was there for 4 years, and then I was picked up as a free agent with the New York Jets in 02 and 03. So that's when Jets was still in New York and Long Island, on Long Island, as they say.
Oh, man. Long Island. Wow.
Right.
Memories.
Right.
Man. So let me ask, when did you start playing football?
Like a lot of us, we start playing in the neighborhood. I say the best kind of like tutelage and practice I got was, having an older brother who's 4 years older than me, and then having the other older brothers in the neighborhood. So I started playing football with those guys, but I really got into it through rec when I was in 1990 when I was 10 years old. I remember being outside, and one of the neighborhood, my neighborhood big brothers came home. He had like the equipment on, and I was like, "Man, where you get that from?" And he had told me about Woodlawn Rec back in Baltimore County, and that's jump started it. I mean, I would always play in the neighborhoods. When we live in Baltimore City, we would play against other neighborhoods, but I never knew where I could go sign up to actually play, full contact and organized football until that day I saw his name, Rodney Petit, come home with this Woodlawn Cowboys equipment on, and I went, told him I ran in the house. I remember I ran in the house. I'm like, "Mom, I want to play football." And you know how mom's like, "No, you're going to get hurt." And I was like, "Yeah, I want to play football." And then we found Woodlawn Rec, and then that was all she wrote, man.
Got you. Now, everyone doesn't recognize or know they're going to be a college or even a pro football player.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say were those moments for you when you recognize, hey, I could be a college player, I could play college football, do this, and I could be a pro player potentially and potentially make a living doing this?
It started with, again, Pop One. So going up the ranks, being the new guy in the rec where a lot of the kids already played, went to school with each other. We just moved to Baltimore County from the city. So I know a lot of guys out there, even in the NFL, who has played a position they probably shouldn't have played, but because they wasn't known, they was put in a certain position. So my first year of playing football, fastest guy on the field, but they didn't know it because I signed up late. They had me at center. So hey, this little kid playing center. Yep. 5th grade playing center. I got like the old school Dick Buckus pad going up my arm because they was tearing my forearms up. So when 6th, 7th, and 8th grade hit, I started to click a little bit with people, but then it's like, oh, we're going to high school. I got to start everything over it. So about my sophomore year, that's when I really struck a match that I want to go to college, but again, I didn't know how to. My brother went to college just for school, but I didn't see anyone beyond him who went for football until I was getting ready to go sophomore year. And Keon Carpenter, rest in peace to him, was like a mentor of mine that went to high school. He went to Virginia Tech. So that was like, oh, I can do this. If he can do it, I can do it. And I just remember by the time my senior year came, he invited me and my good friend Reggie down. We got to see it up close and personal. Virginia Tech played Boston College. Got to stay in his apartment with Cornell Brown that was playing with that played with him there. That eventually went to the Ravens. Keon went to the Bills and played with the Falcons. And going to that game, it's just like I gotta do this. I want to do this, and that's when it clicked. All the offers started coming in. And once I started doing some of the things I did in high school, I can play on a college level. I know I can do this. And when the offers started coming in, I was like, yeah, I can go do this. I picked UVA. It was like 3.5 hours away from Baltimore. Parents can still come. I'm far enough where they can't just pop up on me like the episode of American Pie, Part 2, when he went to college. So, So I wanted to go far away, and when I got there, it was like, I mean, I like this thing. So again, starting over from the beginning again, got to build back up. And when I got used to it, and getting the opportunity to play wide receiver, kick return, I was like, yeah, I want to go. And then that's when it was like, can I do this? I mean, like the question you asked, can I do this? And then that's what started that kind of like the journey to push to get to the NFL.
So you're getting ready for the NFL.
Right.
You're training, you're doing your different things, your diet, all those different things. What is that preparation like? What is like mentally getting prepared for the draft? Everybody talks about it physically, but what is like mentally getting prepared for that?
The mental side of it is different because you're going to train physically and you're going to be good at it because that's what you've been doing since whenever you started playing that sport, whatever sport it is, your basketball and your baseball, you've been playing it. The mental aspect is sitting there and waiting for a phone call. I knew I wouldn't be drafted high if I were to get drafted. I was a free agent, but the mental part that kind of tears you down. And, you can see it on the face of some of them guys, that actually they are there at the draft, like when Lamar Jackson was waiting to get called and it was already 31st, you see everybody stand up and go and walk, and you just sitting there. Me, I sat in my apartment at school, it was me, my mom, my dad, and we just sitting there, and it's just like you're like a prisoner. You make yourself a prisoner because you're just sitting there, you watching it. You don't want to leave, even though when people say, go ahead, you got your phone on you, they'll call you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just sitting there and you see it chop, 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 chop down. And it weighs on you mentally because, like, am I going to get a call at all? You know what I mean? And again, not really having mentors, even on the collegiate level, to say, hey, just answer the phone after the draft. You never know what's going to happen. They always looking for guys they want to pull in, and they know who you are. So the mental aspect to me was harder than the physical aspect because at that time I was already there physically. I had a great trainer and coach, Tony Decker, that was the strength coach at UVA at the time. But the mental aspect is, if I could have got help on that more, that would have made the journey even that much better. Because like I said, the mental is just like pulling on you because you want this. And in the back of your mind, some people who don't want it for you, but at the same time, you're like, wow, why am I just stuck in this place, just waiting, just watching the TV. So like that mental aspect for anybody that watched that, guys getting ready for the draft, hey man, just do your normal thing. Because you'll be just like me, sitting there just stuck, like just keep looking at the TV, pacing around. It was crazy.
Right. Now, okay, you didn't get a call for being drafted. We know that. So you get a call from the New York Jets about coming in and being a free agent addition to the team.
Right.
Now you go into camp, you're doing all those different things. How does that differ in terms of from college football to the NFL life in terms of, learning that different system, the different processes, different things, you have to do as opposed to college?
I'll tell you one thing, Mike, I still kick myself in the butt for this. So again, not having that person to tell you, even my agent at the time, hey, answer the phone once the draft was over with. So I get an unavailable call. In my mind, I'm thinking it's family members calling to tell you, oh, I'm sorry, you'll be okay. And you don't want to hear that because people are waiting. I actually missed the call from the Philadelphia Eagles in that 2002 draft.
Wow.
And at that time, Brian Mitchell was retiring, and I was a kick return. I was a specialist, receiver specialist, but I was really high on as a kick returner. That year, my last year at UVA, I had ran a kick return back 102 yards against Georgia Tech. So that kind of like etched it in stone, and they left a message. But how the draft worked, for those who watch this and don't know, if you don't answer, they got a list of other guys they potentially want. They go and call them as well. So I listened to the voicemail, and I call back. I get a busy signal, left a message. My agent at the time sent me a message on my two-way, like, the Jets want to bring you in. The Eagles called back, say, hey, we had bought somebody else saying good luck with everything. But that would have been like prime real estate to be in because, like I said, Brian Mitchell was retiring. They didn't have a kick returner. I could have been that kick return guy, but it was like amazing. So I get the call, and we want to bring you up to mini camp. And I go into our weight room at UVA, and I tell Coach Deck, so they got the name of the guys that have been picked up free agent, and They set the call up. I had to fly out, do the mini cap. You know, you stand in the hotel. You got all these other guys. You walk into the facility, and it's amazing because you don't know. It's like almost being drafted to the military because you just sitting in your locker and you see all these lockers around you. Then you start looking at the names, you know. And my 2 years there, especially the first year in 2002, Wayne Quebec, Santana Mars, Lavernius Coles, Vinny Testaverde's lockers across from me, Curtis Martin lockers behind me. You know, who else did we have? We had Marvin Jones, you know, I mean, Mo Lewis. You had a young John Abraham, you know, that was there. So you seeing all these guys, especially, you know, the Testaverde, you know, when he won the Heisman, I was 7 years old, and this dude is still playing. Chad Pennington, you know, he's in there. So just like I was like, wow. So I'm like actually here. You know, you see your name on the nameplate. So it takes it to a different level. Like college, you know, you get that room to mess around. They're like, oh, you young, you got to build up to it. Now you hear, you know, every little move you make, it has to be measured precisely. Kind of like when your mom or your grandmother makes that, you know, that pie or whatever. It got to be precise because that little thing, get them out there, we bring the next guy in. So, you know, you on pins and needles if you're a free agent, because, you know, you're expendable. They can switch you out, you know, quick. But if you know, drafted those first 3 rounds, you kind of got it. You know, you got your foot etched, you know, you got your name etched in the sand a little bit because they actually drafted you and spend money on you.
Got you, man. That's definitely a nice breakdown of that. Definitely, man. Wow, you missed the wow. You know, I'm just amazed. Missed the call from the Philadelphia Eagles. Wow, man. I know you had to be kicking yourself.
Oh yeah, I still do. I think about it now, and I'm like, dang, man. I could have been there and probably had like a longer career with them just because of the kick return factor, just to get me in the door, you know. And from there, but you know, I still would say I definitely still like my journey that I had, you know, going through with the Jets, you know, and the guys that I met and the competition, you know what I mean, on the field. You know, it was totally different than college and of course college and high school put together.
Right. Now, of course, you like you mentioned, 2 years with the Jets, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, and then after that, you know, of course, life after the NFL kind of kicks in. So, what was that immediate feeling, kind of after, you know, the phone stops ringing or anything like that, and you're going back to kind of normal life, as they would say? How was that feeling?
I mean, I kept training. The agent I had at the time, I switched agents because he just wasn't focused on me because he had higher guys that came out before me. So I released my agent and I kept training. So for a lot of the other guys that are in the same situation, even some of the guys now that are still digging and trying to get their chance, there are more leagues out now than it was when I played. They had NFL Europe, but the Jets didn't allocate me there. They didn't have many leagues like they do now where you can continue to get film. So I just kept training, wait for calls. That's another mental thing because you're waiting to get a call. You know, I would take my menial jobs so I could have that time to train. So I'm going to work these little jobs to have some money, but also to be able to have time to go to the gym. So my trainer, Coach Troy, he actually is at the House of Athletes. He's training down. He trained a lot of the guys that go to Brandon Marshall's gym in Florida. So when he was in Baltimore, he had a facility in kind of like North Baltimore County. So I would go up there. I would work 8 to 4:30, drive to his facility. I would train from 5:30 to 9 to 9:30 every day, Monday through Friday. He didn't charge me, just say, hey, just help out, you know, the young kids. If they come to you and ask you for help them out. So in the midst of me working out, I would help some of the youth football guys. So the stuff I didn't get, I'm giving it to them, the high school guys. You know, his son was in high school, and I would train with him, you know, to keep him focused. So I would help those guys out. So again, the mental play was I'm working out anywhere from 4 to 4.5 hours a day after working, you know, and just waiting for phone calls. So just staring at the phone. And my last year playing football, I played indoor football. We had an indoor football team in Baltimore called the Baltimore Mariners, and I played 2009. Then after that, I was like, yes, it's time. So, but me, I was pretty good with it because I knew that it was a job, you know, and I had to move on to the next thing, you know. So, of course, I had that itch But 2011, that's when I kicked off my coaching career.
Okay. All right. So for those that aren't aware, can you kind of break down the things you've done in terms of coaching and
Yeah.
other aspects of life after football?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So 2011, I like, what can I do now? So I started getting into, kind of like the education slash direct care field, working at children's facilities, working in the school. Um, 2011 to 2013, I started coaching at my high school, Woodlawn High School. I was their receiver coach, special teams coordinator, and helped with the offense. I even had an opportunity in between 2011, 2012 in the spring to coach professional women's tackle football with the Baltimore
Nice.
Nighthawks. So I kind of like broadened my horizon to, the coach the ladies, and it was amazing. The ladies like absorbed and they could ball. They could play ball. We actually made it to the first round of the playoffs in Montreal, Canada. Got to go up there to Canada, which was awesome. And after 2013, I wanted to try to get into the college level. So we have a Division III college in Baltimore, Stevenson University in Owens Mills, where they occupy the old Ravens facility before they changed to the Castle. I coached there from 2013 to 2014 to 2018. First year tight ends coach, part-time tight ends coach. The last 3 years, the last 3 years I was their cornerbacks coach. So I was just moving up the ranks between high school, college, professional women's, back to high school. I was a track coach as well. All the time I'm moving through the school system as well, so getting into education as well.
Nice. Definitely a myriad of different things that you
Yeah.
got involved in after football, and that's very commendable because you definitely got to keep yourself moving.
Yeah. Because I would see those stories. A lot of the guys that once football is done, they don't know how to bounce back because they're so used to having a set schedule and being at the top where everybody, wants to be around them. And then once you finish, the noise stops and they don't know what to do. So it's like, let me just keep it moving, and coach, give back what I learned, give back to the kids trying to get on that next level.
Right. And then, I know those kids definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a show called Touring the AFC South. Well, of course, my show is Touring the AFC South, but I wanted to take this show to kind of give people the before, during, and after of preparing for the draft as it goes through a actual player's eyes.
Right.
But of course, we always have a game on the show.
Okay.
We always have that. It's two choices. You got to pick one.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. First choice, Virginia Tech or West Virginia?
Oh, gotta go West Virginia. I can't do that. Hurt the turkeys over there. I can't do the turkeys.
I figured you might say that. Now I got I got 3 wide receiver questions for you.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill or Deebo Samuel?
I'm gonna go Deebo.
Gotcha.
Deebo.
All the things he can do, right?
Yeah, your Swiss Army knife. And there's no knock to Tyreek, but when you got a guy that can play running back, quarterback, wide receiver, whatever you need, I go with Deebo.
Gotcha. Now I've got 2 college teammates,
okay.
DK Metcalf and AJ Brown.
Give me DK.
DK, okay. All right. When he's not, kind of losing it a little bit on the field. He's
right.
Now I've got this one, and this one is a couple of LSU guys.
Okay.
Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase?
Woo. I gotta go Jamar. I like Jefferson, but Jamar, he just it's a different it factor. I don't know if because of him and how him and Joey B blend together, but I like Jamar Chase, and he's fearless, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I might give it to Justin just for the greedy. I'm kidding. Now, I do have one last one. This was going to have some Virginia flavor to it.
Okay.
Tiki Barber or Thomas Jones?
I'm gonna go Thomas Jones. I guess I'm being biased. I got to play with him and see him. Man, dude was amazing. And no knock on Tiki, but Thomas, pass catcher. blocker, and the way he would run the ball. You know what I mean? He was like that running back that pulls everybody. Actually, he helped me get my first touchdown in college. We ran a zone right. We call it Sally left, but it was a zone right, and he pulled the whole entire Wake Forest defense. And you got this little scrawny red shirt freshman come back around the left side and got my first touchdown. And was it 99? Yep, my first touchdown ever. So Thomas. I go with Thomas Jones.
Got you. Yeah, I had a good little list going there, so I was wondering where you were going to go with that last one. I was like, right. Yeah, that might get him a little bit.
Right.
But I want to say thank you for coming on.
Oh yeah, man.
I want to also give you an opportunity to talk about any things that you have going on.
Yeah.
Also to mention where everyone can find you on social media.
Oh yeah, man, definitely. I appreciate you, man, and I know we talk on Twitter about sports and everything, and I definitely appreciate it, man. And you can find me. At first, I tell people go to my foundation website, do a lot of community work. That was one big thing that I really wanted to do once I got done playing, and it started in my hometown of Baltimore. And the great thing, Mike, we was able to expand it outside of that to Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia, UVA Children's Hospitals, all the way up to New York, to the Ronald McDonald House on New Hyde Park in Long Island, 2 years in a row, helping men, women, families, children, reading tours. So go to www.TavonMasonLovesTheKids.org, TMLTKF on Twitter, TMason18 on Instagram. Got Tavon Mason Love the Kids, Mr. _T Mason. And on Facebook, the same thing, Tavon Mason and Tavon Mason Love the Kids. Me and my good friend, another former NFL player, Joel Gamble, who's from Baltimore, we collaborated after making our own children's books to make a kind of like social justice comic book series. We wanted to show representation for Black superheroes, because they're very few. And we created the Justice Duo that cover bullying, gentrification, and food deserts. So, you can go there, and all that information is on my website. But again, man, I thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate this chance coming on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. I gotta check out the comic books, man. I'm definitely all into the comic books now.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. It's a great one. We did the old school with leaving a cliffhanger. So, you won't see what happened until you get the next one. And one thing we did for the kids, Mike, like I did in my children's book, we put a coloring page in the back. So after they, finish reading it, they can color one of the scenes from the inside of the book. So we put that on the back for the kids also.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
man.
For everyone that's listening and watch, thank you very much. This has been another episode of Touring the AFC South with your host, Mike Patton, and we're out.
Peace.